dance might lead you. Hi everyone, I'm Annika, and welcome to the 6th episode of Rhythm and Reality, where we interview dancers about their experiences on the dance floor and through life. Today's interviewee is Professor Thomas, who not only teaches dance, but has also performed on TV and continues to pursue it as her passion. Let's take a look. Hi everyone, welcome back to the 6th episode of Rhythm and Reality. Today I have Professor Thomas here, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her experience with dance, and we're just going to have a nice conversation today. So do you want to introduce yourself a little bit, give a little background on who you are and what you like to do with dance?
Sure. My name is Niamey Thomas. I am a hip-hop dancer and a social dancer, and most recently a salsera, so into salsa dancing. I found dance through the social being, so parties, clubs, and then I got into a lot of hip-hop and performance, and then I got into street style, and then found my way into salsa.
That's awesome. So would you say that salsa is your favorite style?
No, hip-hop is definitely my love. Hip-hop is what I teach. Hip-hop is what I practice the most of. Salsa is just a new style. Like I said, I started off in the social realm. When I was a kid, just really parties with like family and things like that. But I enjoy it in salsa. I enjoy the connection and just you go out and you dance, and you can just meet someone and dance, and then you leave and you never meet them again, and I just love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to, just for those who are listening and don't know a whole ton about it, do you want to get a little bit of background on what that looks like and how you got into it at first?
Salsa?
Yes.
Or dance? Okay. So I took a class at ASU over 10 years ago. I received my undergrad from ASU in communication, actually, so I wasn't a dance major. And then I left, and then I am now pursuing an MFA at ASU, and ASU has tracks for contemporary, modern, hip-hop, Afro-Latin, which salsa falls under, and then African diasporic movement. And so I've been tipping my toes into the three: Latin, hip-hop, and African diasporic, because they're all connected through Black folk, and that's what I study. And so that's how I began salsa. And then again, because I am a social dancer, I go out quite a bit and I dance, and so I've been exploring that. This past weekend, it's April 16th, so this past weekend I went to this thing called Latin Soul, and I performed some poetry that I wrote, and also performed in salsa. And I've been taking classes and then just social dancing, so I just go out and dance with people.
That's so fun. And where did you say that was one more time?
Arizona State University. Latin Soul is the event. They have it every year. This year was the 10th year.
Wow, that's so cool. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing a little bit about your experience with that. And then you also mentioned that hip-hop was your favorite style. Why is that?
So hip-hop is the first style I learned and trained, and then it's the one I teach, and it's the one I battle in, I perform in. It's hip-hop is what I do.
Oh, you battle in it? That's so cool.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Hip-hop is a culture, and so along with any culture, it has traditions and customs, and so all over the world there's different battle events one can attend and just battle in. And so you just enter, you battle, and then you win, you lose. But it's again a conversation, right? Just like the idea of salsa and the social dancing aspect of it. That's what I feel like battling is. There's a call and response, right? I'm dancing, I'm responding to the music, I'm calling out to my opponent, and vice versa. And so I enjoy that.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. So you've been a dancer for a little while now, right? And you're not a newbie in the world of dance. You've kind of been well versed in it. what led you to eventually become a professor with that?
So I have been teaching for a really long time. And in 2021, there was I knew I've always wanted to get into academia and teach specifically movement classes, also theory classes. And then in 2021, there was just an opportunity. I actually knew the person who was teaching the hip hop class I now teach. And she was leaving. She ended up getting another opportunity at a different university, and so it opened up. And I didn't know at the time that she was leaving. Like, I didn't know all of that, but I knew there was a position opening up, and I fit the description. I do not have. I'm currently pursuing my MFA, so I did not have my MFA prior. But I mean, I've danced, I've performed, I've battled. I danced for different local artists. I danced for the Phoenix Mercury, WNBA, and just I had a
Wow.
big experience, long experience. So I was able to get the job. I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second, please.
No, you're good. Do you have cats?
Sorry, the cat.
Do you have cats by chance?
They're not mine, who I live with, but yes, there's cats in the house.
Oh, cute. Love cats. Sorry, you can continue.
But yeah, but that was really it. I saw the job. I thought, I'm not going to get it. I don't have an MFA or a master's degree at all because you're supposed to. But my experience was long and good enough for them to believe what I said I did. So I love it. I really enjoy teaching movement classes. Yeah.
That's awesome. And just getting into that too, in your years of teaching, has there been an interaction with a student that stood out to you, or a student that you've just been very proud of their growth or had a special relationship with?
I mean, overall, I'm proud of all my students that I've come into contact with. There are like two students I think of, both in my first year, that I still talk to. They're both in my hip hop crew, and so I was just texting one of them today. But overall, I build, I would say, a decent relationship with my students where we still talk nowadays. Especially with social media, you can stay connected to people. And so, yes, I do have some students that, yeah. What's also interesting is I say often, like, you either love my class or you hate my class. I don't teach choreography. I teach, again, I'm a social dancer. I'm a community dancer. And so I teach how you would learn at any community class. I don't teach choreography because hip-hop is not a choreography-based class. Hip-hop is not a choreography-based style. We use choreography now, but in the original of it was freestyle. And so that's what my class is. I have students who love that and who, like, you see them drift over here into, and so some of them start battling and getting into this area. And then you have others who were always the choreography heads, and so that's what they're going to stick to, and so they want to do more of that way. But either way, the point is that I am able to stay connected to both of them. I did help a student get into Phoenix Mercury, just by giving them different tips, because I used to dance for them, so I know the little things that they're looking for auditions and all the nitty-gritty stuff like that, so I was able to do that.
That's awesome. That's really cool. For those who are maybe looking to take a class like that, or they're maybe not sure if they want to go into the program, what would you say to them? Like, what's it usually like going into that?
I mean, going into GCU's dance program is not focused on hip-hop. It is focused on ballet, contemporary, and jazz. And so being prepared of that, if you are a hip-hop dancer and you're looking for that, maybe GCU isn't the place because you don't only have 2 hip-hop classes. But there's other schools that I can imagine have more hip-hop focused classes and a diverse form of hip-hop classes, right? So there's popping, there's locking, there's whacking, which is a street style or a club style, there's house and other styles that fall under the hip-hop umbrella, but they're not. They're cousins of hip-hop, if you will. And then if you want to take a hip-hop class, depending on where, if you're in Arizona, GCU Jukebox has some amazing classes. There's some amazing places, but I would say to definitely find the community, because that's where you find the realness of it, right? That's where you find people holding tradition, people holding on to what was, and creating space for what is.
Yeah, absolutely. I also feel, and maybe I want to hear your opinion on this as well, but I feel that there is a lot of history of dance, especially with hip hop, that isn't very talked about. Like, for example, if you go to GCU's hip hop club, there's that environment where you learn a choreography one week, but you might not necessarily know the history. So I know that some of their recent clubs in recent weeks, they've been going into more of like the history of hip hop and getting more in depth with that. And I feel that that also fosters that sense of community that you were talking about. So I'm glad that you value that, and it's just cool to hear about because it's not always talked about. So I'm also curious as well, what does your class look like personally? How do you like to run things?
So I love history. So we talk a lot about, and I'm also a part of the culture of hip hop. I have a lot of people in the community who are traveling, world-renowned artists, and who teach and who are all the things that I'm a part of community with. And so I have access to a lot of information. But history is important. We go through the history, especially within Hip Hop 1. But I try to create the community and culture. And so we do learn how to battle. We focus on the rock and the bounce, which is the groove. And then I have in the past used the Nair, but I'm starting to move away from that. So now we're dancing in a cypher consistently. It's completely freestyle based, so you have to learn how to freestyle. And if you don't know how to before, you're going to now. I teach party grooves. I teach grooving. In the past, I've taught breaking, locking, and popping. I don't think this upcoming semester I'm going to teach that. I think I'm just going to stick with party grooves, the rocking, the bounce, and then maybe a little bit of breaking. And then my second semester, we do more choreography, but it's still very much a freestyle-based class. I have them do a lot of partner work. Yeah, that's kind of what that looks like.
That's awesome. And then kind of going into more of your personal experience with dance too. Growing up, how did you first discover that you liked to dance? Were there any big obstacles for you that you had along the way?
So I'm Black and Mexican, and so we dance. Like that's just a part of the culture. It didn't matter on what side of the family I was at the parties of. Like we were the entertainment as children, and so we danced. They come dance for us, right? Like that's what we did. But when I think I was in the second grade, there was a teacher at my elementary school who was doing a flash mob, and she just happened to have been a Knicks dancer. And then so she saw me do choreography. She's like, "You're good." And so my parents were like, "Oh, you actually can dance, right? You're not just you can actually dance. You can pick up choreography." And then so from there, I did a few other things around my church. We focus on liturgical specifically. I go to a predominantly Black church, so liturgical is the dance form there. But with that, I started to just get more involved with hip hop. I joined some different crews, again, just in community. We performed in a few different places. We battled like crew battles in a few different places. And then, yeah, I grew up and kept in that same light. An obstacle? I mean, life is hard. So yes, life is very hard. I can't think of anything specific, but I know that it has been a constant for a long time. I wasn't sure I was going to make any money off of it, right? Like, and even now, it's not like I'm wealthy by no means, but I'm able to support my living with dance, which is a blessing.
Dance can be one of the most growing things a person can do. Hi everyone, I'm Annika, and welcome back to this week's episode of Rhythm and Reality, where we interview dancers about their journeys on the dance floor and through life. This week I interviewed Avery, who's not only a fellow student, but has learned a lot growing up in the world of dance. Here's our conversation.
Yeah, just that I wasn't expecting to make money, and I do. And it's a blessing, and I appreciate it. And I think that, yeah, dance is also a mindset, regardless if you're performing or if it's for your community or if it's the social dancing, right? You're going out to dance. Like, it's a mindset. You have to be ready and prepared mentally to do it.
Absolutely. Do you ever feel that there was times where you weren't necessarily prepared, or you kind of had to learn that in life?
I wasn't prepared to dance or to perform, or what do you mean exactly?
Because it sounded like you were saying, like, it's very important for you to be prepared. So did you just naturally pick that up by watching others, or was there maybe a time where you were like, oh no, I'm not as prepared, this is something that I realize is important to me?
I mean, I what I've realized being at ASU is that I am self-taught. Being at ASU, this is my first like formal class training. I've been to plenty of classes where I learned choreography, but like this is my first like consistent training. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. When I think about the people who created hip hop, they were all, none of them went to classes, right? Like they started the thing and they created it and that was the thing. But I think in the idea of being prepared, I think you can only be prepared, like you can try, but doesn't mean you're always going to be prepared. And I think that there is a level of preparedness that we do need just to get anywhere. I'm kind of type A, so all my T's are crossed, all my dots are, my I's are dotted, right? And so I think my success comes from that. And then also I think favor. I think I got the Lord's favor. Because realistically, there's just, I've experienced things and I'm just like, how could I ever? Like, no amount of being prepared could prepare me for this, but I did it.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome.
I hope I answered your question.
No, that totally makes sense. Yeah, I love your mindset with it too, because I mean, as you said, life is hard. Like, everyone experiences some sort of different obstacles with dancing, but I feel also that the fact that you were able to develop that mindset and become a professor through it, and I mean, you say that it's the Lord's favor, but I'm sure that you also worked hard to get where you are, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, yeah, I had the experiences because, again, I didn't have the master's degree. So if I didn't have the experiences, then I wouldn't be where I am. So the experiences for sure got me to where I am now.
That's awesome. Do you have a favorite? Because it sounds like also that was just a part of your childhood, like the community dance. Do you have a favorite memory from back then?
I used to dance for this team called Anonymous, which is funny because in 2016 I danced for a team called Anomalous.
Oh.
Anywho, so I danced for Anonymous, I think from '05. I was born in the 90s. I'm in my 30s. From I think '05 to like '08 for 3 years, I think, maybe '09. But I danced for Anonymous, and we did a lot of competing. Anonymous, the style that they did was a lot of like southern, like Miami-based, Atlanta-based music. Look it up. But it's like very like, it's fast. And it's like, yeah. And it's super big, super low. That's like the jam of what we did. So all the choreography was like that. But we were competing in Chicago for Brandy. We were trying to win a competition to, like, I guess we were backup dancers or something. I don't even know. But so we did, the way we auditioned was through a what's that called? Why am I forgetting the name? When you go down a parade. So we would so it was like it was a couple mile long parade, and we were dancing, and then we'd walk, and then we were dancing, and then we'd walk, and then at the very end, like once you get to the end, is the judges, and it's her and her backup and her other dancers and some other people. And now after we did this few miles of sweat, it's Chicago, it's in the summer, it's actually hot, we now then have to perform for her. And
Wow.
at that time, I was in elementary school. It's like I just vividly remember that.
That
It was
would
a
be
good
such
time.
a cool experience.
It was something. It was definitely hard. It was a good time though, but it was hard for
Oh,
sure.
I bet. Was it just kind of a nice break when you guys got to walk a little bit, like versus the dancing? Like, okay, now we get to walk, we get to breathe.
I honestly don't remember. I just remember all the dancing. But I can imagine we were tired. We had like little like wagons and things that our moms can pull us in.
Oh.
The crew I was in was a multi-generational one, so we had, me where I was maybe in the third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, and then no, I was older than that. But and then we also had like 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds like, come on, let's go, keep it up. So it was an interesting dynamic. We were getting yelled at. You guys are falling too far behind. Come on.
Do you feel
tired.
like do you feel like you're somebody who's usually motivated by that? Because I know there are people who are motivated by different things, like especially in the world of dance. But do you think you're more motivated by the come on, let's go, like the negative reinforcement?
I don't know. I think about this often. What motivates me, because I'm not the person who's going to work out for just for fun, right? Like I am working out because I have a goal. I'm working out because I'm running a half marathon and I need a better time. I'm working out because I have to battle in 5 weeks, and so I need to be like that. I think my motivation is really like a goal. I have to have a set goal in order to I think that's how I work. I don't think like you can say whatever you want. That's not going to work. Like you threatening me or scaring me, or it doesn't work for me. It has to be like I have a goal. I want to get an A, or I want to be a better teacher. Whatever my goal is, I'm very goal oriented.
So you create that motivation for yourself. That's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, I want to go back to also, I know you mentioned a couple cool things, like the Phoenix Mercury thing just sounds very cool to me. Do you want to expand on that a little bit more?
Yeah, I did one season. It was in 2017. And then after that, I was already in my late 20s. So I kind of need like to work. So I was like, I told myself I was going to do one season of Mercury and the Suns. But unfortunately, I was like, I need to make money. And so I ended up just doing the Mercury. But it was a really good time. The Mercury is, I would say, better than the Suns, just from what I've heard. But just the fans are great. The games are fun. Being on the court is amazing. All the dancing is fun. All the little girls and boys who are like amazed by you and think you're a superhero is really cool.
Oh.
Being on TV is cool. I have a friend who worked for I think ABC downtown, and so anytime we would go down there to film, because we'd have to film like different commercials, he'd be like, Niamey, camera. And so that was always cool, right? To have like just to be on TV. My homies would hit me up like, I see you on TV today. It's like, yeah, that's me. So that was a fun time. I wish I did it again. What's funny is I actually considered doing it again this summer, because it goes from like May until September, but I didn't because I missed the auditions. I didn't realize that they were earlier this year.
Shoot.
So I missed them. But it's okay. Yeah, I have other plans for the summer anyways, so it's fine. But yeah.
Is that something you'd be interested, like maybe next year to do again?
Yeah, there was, when I was on the team, there was someone in their 40s. So like age doesn't matter, which is great. Because I'm only getting older. But I think I want to wait till I graduate. Like, I think it's actually good I didn't do it this summer while I'm graduating, because I am doing a lot of travel over the summer for research. So it's probably beneficial for me to wait anyways. So 3 more years, 2 more years, 36, 37, not mad about that.
That could be very cool. Not once, but twice. Wow, that could be. And was there ever an instance where you got to meet a player on the team when you were there?
Yeah, so what's funny, we hung out with a lot of the girls. Like, they were homies. Danny, Rob, we went out together quite a bit. We would all go to dinner together. I am so mad that I'm forgetting her name. Yes, I can't think of her name in this moment. Kayla Gray was also someone we hung out with. I can't think of her name, but she's really tall. She actually got arrested in Russia.
Oh wow.
Brittany Griner.
Is she?
Yeah. She's back.
Okay, that's good.
But yeah, she had traveled to Russia because they play there during like the NBA season, so the winter seasons they play across seas. And unfortunately, she had got stuck in Russia. But she's back. Brittany Griner is her name. Yeah, she was also someone who would come out often with us. But yeah, the WNBA is a lot more lax on us interacting with the ladies. The NBA, you can't interact with the guys. But for the WNBA, we can. And so we could like hang out and kick it and stuff. So
that's so cool. Do you think that, or I don't know if you're okay sharing any of this information, but do you have them in your context? Like you guys just text each other sometimes?
No, I mean, that was, oh my gosh, that's almost 10 years ago. No.
Time flies.
Time definitely flies. No, I don't have, I mean, I might still have their phone number, but no, we don't talk anymore. We are on social though. Like I have Kayla Gray on social. She went back though to Australia. I think she has a baby, so I don't even know if she's still playing. And then Danny Robb is, I think, in Houston. But no, I don't really talk to them anymore. We definitely have each other on social, though.
Wow. What a cool experience. What a random... I feel that there's random things like that. Sometimes you would never know unless you ask someone, but then you bring something like that up and it's like, what? Like, what a cool experience.
It was very cool.
Yeah. But it'd be so awesome if you could do that again. So,
I agree. And I would love to do it with my students. I know one of my students is on the team, so that would be awesome to like dance with her in that way. Maybe one day.
How awesome. Is that, I know that's something that you might want to do in the future again. Is there anything else that's kind of on your checklist of things to do in the dance world?
Yeah, I want to go to Amsterdam to Summer Dance Forever and Battle. I want to... there's a few other places like I want to compete. I want to join a salsa competitive team and compete with them.
Ooh.
I would really like that. I really want to go to the Dominican Republic, Cuba, a few places to dance salsa too. Yeah, those are some like goals I have like one day.
That could be very cool. And just also for salsa, is there a specific thing you're supposed to wear? Is there like a specific attire, or can you just dance it wearing anything? Like when it's competing?
Yeah, you can wear whatever you want. When it's competing. I mean, I don't know like the competition culture enough, but I know they have like the bedazzle and the big, right? If you've seen it, they wear the heels and the things. And so like, I think that is like in the culture they've created of competitive salsa and bachata and the likes, but I don't know if it's like a must.
It's just if you want to add that
cute.
Extra. Yeah,
the outfits are cute though. Like, I mean, they make them feel special and like they could twirl all night. So I'm here for it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've seen a couple videos like with the skirts and everything. Sorry about this. I think somebody might be here for the room, so we might have to wrap up the interview, but I have one last question for you. Is there a move or a performance that you're most proud of, and what's the biggest way you've grown, do you think?
A performance I'm proud of. I can't think of one right off the top of my head, but I'm really grateful for all the performances that I've had. And what was your last question?
What's the biggest way you've grown?
I'm pretty courageous in general, but I think as I continue to dance and step out of my comfort zone, like I just continue to amaze myself at how fearless I really am.
That's awesome.
So I think that's some growth in that, yeah.
And that's not something everyone can do. Like, honestly, that is very impressive. Even performing in front of a crowd in general is impressive, let alone like these things that, and these big crowds, and even on TV, like that does take a lot of courage.
Yeah. I mean, this past weekend at Latin Soul, I competed in a salsa battle, which again, I'm like learning, right? I'm getting my toes wet in. And so I'm really proud of that. So like, I've only been doing this for 4 months, and then all of a sudden I just go battle. Like, I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is there anything you want to leave our audience with? Anything you'd like to say to younger dancers who are just getting started?
Thank you for your dedication to your craft. Continue to push yourself, continue to trust yourself, understand your body. I think that's something missing, especially within the realm of like contemporary, modern, and ballet. I'm not in that world, but still, like, just understanding your body, understand your weight shifting, and then just trusting your instincts.
Absolutely. Mic drop. Thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Annika. I appreciate you.
That's all for this week's episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to keep an eye out for new episodes. Don't forget to subscribe and follow along.